retail stuff and what kind of scales they get and stuff. I don't know if they, who has sent it to us.
Rachel?
Yes.
Yes, and we'll get that posted on our vendor page.
Yeah.
Okay,
And there's pretty well anything you need to know is on that.
okay, great. Okay, so Jeff is with the Department of Ag, Weights and Measures, and essentially that they are making sure that that the consumer is protected.
Well,
So-
and also the seller, I mean, his scale can be off the other way also.
Right, exactly. Primary concern being our consumers getting what they paid for, but also you guys being paid for what you produce. So that's the reason that the scale certification is so important. And you're safeguarded from the perception of shortchanging. Can you address the eggs, please, Jeff?
I don't know a lot about the egg license. They're getting ready, they didn't charge anything last year because they're gonna raise them a whole bunch this next year. And you gotta go on the website and all that stuff for the, they don't tell us much and
They're gonna raise it next year, is that what you said?
this year, yeah, I mean,
You said a whole bunch, what does that mean?
I think it's supposed to go to 25.
Okay. I wanna know, like, I have eggs.
And I try to tell people ahead of time, so they don't go buy chickens now and say, I wanna sell eggs and figure out how much.
So I think the egg license expires in June
Yeah.
for everyone, that's the first, for those that don't know. And, up to this point,
Yeah,
we've just been able to renew without an issue.
Yeah.
I do know this past year, like you said, there was no charge for that, but I think they're in the process of switching some system or something was going
it's been a mess.
on, yes. But I was not aware that there were going to be, are they expecting that for the renewals then in June, going into the 20, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so for most everybody at the farmer's market, that bolded first limited retailer's license will be what applies to you.
And anybody has an egg license, we can actually stop by and look at their eggs and see if there's, meet the quality standards.
Okay, great.
I think that's just for first year licenses.
No,
I've never-
anytime. I mean, but we don't make it to a lot of the little retailers, especially farmers market stuff. It's usually more in places like dealers or grocery stores that sell year round.
Okay, I just haven't had to have my eggs checked again since the original
Yeah.
time, which is why, and they've always renewed my license without having to prove,
You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to have an inspection. It just,
Okay.
it's kind of a random.
okay, okay.
So just know that you could be
I
inspected.
could, yes,
Could be.
okay.
Say if we come to the market someday and somebody has eggs, we can look at their license and look at the eggs.
So if we see you, we should just close our
Yeah,
eyes down.
yeah.
Just quick, lower the sign.
Yeah, so you can find what you need at this agriculture.mo.gov. And there's a FAQ and license application there as well. On the,
You have to put all your information on the egg carton, your license number, and when they were put in the carton. They use a Julian calendar date so they know when they were put in the carton. A lot of people have Best Buy, but they recommend putting the day they were put in the carton.
the pack date, okay?
And the
I think
size.
ours says laid by, like laid on date or something like that. I will say for those of you that are new to sell eggs, and I don't know if you, because you guys sell eggs too, I have had people ask me to bring like unwashed eggs. We can't do that. That's not, so just for those of you that do want to sell eggs.
I better do that from your house.
Yeah, but,
Don't tell Jeff about it.
yeah, don't tell Jeff about
I'd say
it.
if you sell just from your house, you don't have to have egg.
I mean, you could technically sell them as hatching eggs, I guess, if you're gonna sell them unwashed, like under that, but not, they have to be washed, you have to be sized, graded, handled, we gotta do all of that when you're selling that way.
And the size of eggs is actually not how big it is, it's by weight. But
Yes,
the large eggs weigh a certain amount and the extra large weigh, because that's how sometimes you get a carton of eggs and have some little ones and one big one in there.
Okay, so certified scales needed for that?
No, you don't have to have, you can weigh anything you want for prepackaging.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute. Just a reminder, we have tons of customers that love to bring, me included, bring back their egg packaging. And so just be sure that if you do reuse it, that it meets this criteria. And especially if the, make sure that the previous information is marked out on there. Okay. Now we're talking about prepackaged.
Well, yeah, if you want to package stuff at home, like make pound packages, your scale doesn't actually have to be certified. We do random package weights too, go and see if they're putting in what you're supposed to, like taking your chair weight off. But if you want to pre-package everything, you don't have to have a certified scale.
But it must contain at
At
least
least
the
what
amount
the meter
that is
exceeds
on
the
the.
labeled quantity.
Right, okay, so if you're pre-packaging like bread, that it has to contain at least as much as is marked on the label.
Without the packaging.
Yeah.
Without,
Right,
yes.
not including the packaging.
Yes.
Exactly. So the net weight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime you get something at the store, if you would actually weigh the package, it should weigh more than what it says it does, because you got
The
a
packages in there.
package and weight.
Right, right. Okay. And once again, this is the most important part, but it has to contain at least what it is labeled in order to be compliant.
If you did 20 packages, they don't have to all be overweight. There could be some, as long as they're not too much under, there could be some under and some over, and it's still pass inspection.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I think for the market though, we'd like to have them all at least that weight.
Yeah, that's what we prefer, but
Yes. Okay. And this is the handout that you sent us, Jess?
yeah, it's got method to sell, how you can sell like fruit, vegetables, tomatoes, corn, all that stuff. You can sell them by quantity or weight, or dry measure.
Right, so especially for our produce vendors that, you can sell it in many different ways, as Jeff was saying. But there are standards, so, just be sure that you find that handout from us or from the Department of Ag to be sure that you're doing it the right way. Thank you, Kurt.
If we check your scale and it doesn't actually pass the test, you either get a scale company to work on it, or you can yourself. But if the scale company does it, you can go ahead and start using it as soon as they give it back to you.
Okay,
If you fix it yourself, we have to come and check it before you can use it.
good to know.
But most of these little scales, a lot of times it costs more to get them worked on than replace them.
Right, right.
If it's not something just like a battery or something.
Okay, any questions on the scales?
If anybody wants to buy a new scale, sometime they could call us and tell us what kind you're gonna get, and we can look it up and make sure it's a legal for trade scale before you buy it, and then you find out it wasn't
Yeah.
legal for trade.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a number for assistance if you're unsure.
And you can look up legal for trade scales on, everybody uses the internet anymore, on legal for trade scales, and there'll be lots of them come up.
Okay. Any questions on this as far as what can't be used? Okay. All of Jeff's contact information is here. Department of Ag, Division of Weights and Measures information is here, so they're pretty easy to get a hold of and very willing to help. Any questions for Jeff?
Maybe she, like I said, she could print that off and have it available for
Okay,
everybody.
we'll make sure everybody has it.
And I have all your scales checked. If you wanna come in, I'll give you the invoices and we can go from there.
Okay, great. I think we're gonna take a break, so if you have your scales with Jeff, and he's got them all certified now, so you can go ahead and get your scales back.
And the bathroom is just around the corner?
Yeah, the bathroom's just around the corner. Help yourselves to back yonder cookies, water, and coffee. And the coffee is courtesy of Triple H. So get up, stretch your legs a little bit, and then we're gonna talk more specifics about our market in particular.